many Sephardic Jews' chain of continuity with Jewish experience and people to atheism or agnosticism or some other religion entirely. Buddhism, whatever it is, after Israeli soldiers do their term, people go out for a year afterwards. Many go to India to study with the gurus and what have you. There's kind of a fascination. Nobody questions. The belief is that it's well established in modernity that there can be people that are construed as part of the people of Israel. Oops. Well, I'll just stick with this. Never mind the slides. There are people that are part of the people of Israel, but don't have commitments to the religion of Israel to speak of. It's worth noting, and I first, this was axiomatic. It was passed on in conversation with Michael Brown, if you know Dr. Brown, one of our more able philologists, language experts, and quite the apologist and a well-respected theologue. I remember once he made a point about, Zari Israel, the seed of Israel. The undersigned believe one can be part of the seed of Israel without being part of the religion of Israel. Many Jews today, for example, have little to no interest in the religion of Judaism, but nevertheless are considered Jewish. Buttressed or strengthened by biological evidence, for example, exempla gratis, example DNA, archaeological evidence and social science, the undersigned want to be taken seriously as Jews, albeit in many cases distant through time and circumstance. The question of how to qualify being Jewish is not an unreasonable question. How can one lay siege to the claim of being descended from the people of Israel? Well, biological evidence means something, arguably through DNA. Thus, Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister's father, saying some years ago, he himself an expert in Sephardic Jewish experience, took a PhD in it and taught on it and wrote on it, argued that in Central and South America, if Hispanics took DNA tests, 30 million would discover that they're of Jewish extract. That number has been adjudged to be too low, most recently in an article I'd seen in the Jewish press in Israel. Well, in any case, strengthened by biological evidence, archaeological evidence, social science, and even family narratives and the like, stories that have been passed down from antiquity, special things on Friday nights, lighting candles, certain social traditions. I'm not an anthropologist. Individuals look at various communities, and there's certain vestiges. The word vestige from the Latin vestigium, footprint. There are individuals that carry footprints of Jewish experience in Hispanic culture that have passed down through the ages. And there's ways to tender an argument, perhaps not exclusively, but certainly DNA is telling. Fourth, the undersigned believe an evidenced biological connection suffices to lay claim to being of Jewish descent. We're minded to press to the delegates. We want to bring to the attention men and women who, by the way, in many cases have limited exposure to Sephardic peoples and situations. Even exposure can just be an intellectual idea. He's kind of chipping it away at his doctoral dissertation. It's a lifetime work for his PhD. Well, he doesn't want to just write a book and stick it in a library that's read through a few scholars through time and circumstances. No, when you're that invested in something, you want to make a difference. Now, I'm a man. I have a family to support. I want to make a dollar, not just a difference. But if I can make a dollar making a difference, that's what I'm talking. That what we want to do is, with discovery, we don't want to just discover for ourselves and then stick it in a shelf somewhere to get lost or just kicked around amongst academics. I got nothing against academics. I is one. But the point is what you want to do is you want to get out there in the world. And I think there's a special kind of beauty, if you look at it, distinctive to my way of thinking with the Messianic the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations. There's good brothers and sisters in all sorts of endeavors, all kinds of tribal organizations. But there's something special. There's a special kind of brain trust and a heart trust in the Union. And we already have these programs. Sometimes they're just inchoate. They're in the raw ways of, Hebrew education by distance, cantoral studies, theological education that's just second to none. Second to none. I believe, by the way, that a maturing Sephardic Jewish movement is well served by exposure to good, erudite Messianic sources. Erudite is a fancy word. Someone says, Jeffrey, why do you use big words? Because it creates the illusion I know what I'm talking about. that you just throw them around and you snow job people. No, but I think that the Ashkenazi Jewish world certainly has commitments to education. It's part of the ethos. It's part of the culture. So when you look at the union, the way the union has evolved, we have these various educational organisms and educators, and the name of the game is to get some of this translated and send it out. We already have mechanisms to dispense in the modern world today, online programs. There's different ways, a purpose here is to be received into the union of Messianic Jewish congregations, and then to begin to get benefit. For example, children's programs, youth programs, Hebrew language programs, leadership training programs, and more. The union does that stuff, and it does it well. Camps. We have camps for the kids, for our kids. We need to send them away to camp for a couple weeks, let them meet other Messianic kids. Our singles. There's benefits being part of a tribe, being part of a group. I believe the whole Jesus story is a team sport. It's a we thing, not a me thing. It's a group. And certain males of the species, particularly, though not exclusively, we tend to be autonomous and independent. And I get it, but the whole Yeshua business, it's communal in nature. And by virtue of participating in a community, there's certain things that are lost. One can lose certain elements of autonomy, but what's gained outstrips what's lost. And the undersigned, we're going to present a petition with your help to the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations to say, listen, that we, again, and I'm speaking weekly, as in W-E-A-K, and I believe that my position as kind of leading this as part of the spear needs to be short-term, and I've already articulated that from the get-go, to make way to more competent individuals to lead this endeavor into the future. But I'm here to participate only initially. But I believe it's got to be spokespersons from the Sephardic community. And what's being tendered here is 1,000 signatures strong by some of our Sephardic regional directors and rabbis and others to say, listen, that we want the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations to accept us. And we not only want you to benefit from exposure, we want to benefit from you as well. Love's a two-way street. The undersigned, point 6, are asking to be received. We want to tap the union's programs, etc. We wish to participate with our donations to the UMJC and with our presence at UMJC conferences. Our presence, our gifts and presence will over time demonstrate our fidelity and respect for the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations. I believe that Sephardic Jews have demonstrated a commitment that's endured through time and circumstance, and that there's a commitment there. Listen, we really want to join you. Will you open up your heart to us? We don't want this, we want this. Number 7, the undersigned want to tap into the intellectual and spiritual resources in the Union to educate our children, ourselves, and our leaders on the essence and substance of Jewish experience in general and Messianic Jewish experience in particular. It's reiterating a sentence noted earlier, but repetition is a teaching tool in the Jewish world, by the way, if you ever heard of the Mishnah. Saying it again, I'll repeat it, the undersigned want to tap into the intellectual and spiritual resources in the union of Messianic Jewish congregations to educate our children, ourselves, and our leaders on the essence and substance of Jewish experience in general and Messianic Jewish experience in particular. I really think it's a strength of the union of Messianic Jewish congregations that we can help with that probably better than anyone in the world. And speaking of the world, I'm not just taking this story south of the equator. That there's 10 congregations right now that are coming into the union so far. The paperwork is in or just about to come in. I've heard from these rabbis just in the last few days. It'll go before the executive committee and then to the delegates. And one is out of France, another Italy, one in Africa. I was there not all that long ago. The Lemba tribe, individuals of Jewish extract that spoke at a college there for a couple of weeks. Got sent over there to do that. Someone from there, Ethiopia. And then there's a number of North American communities as well. But later on this year, our president, Barney Kasdan, is going to the Ukraine with our Ukrainian director there. There's about a dozen or so congregations there that are interested. Not long after that, I'm going to Russia. My wife usually loves to travel with me, but it's so cold there. I'll be there in November. So she said, look, Jeff, I'll pray for you from home. But we're looking about 10 or a dozen there. Personally, my vision, I think that the Bible is the greatest story ever told. The union of Messianic Jewish congregations is the greatest story never told. I am pushy. I want to get the word out. To my way of thinking, if you're not appearing, you're disappearing. If success in life was easy, everybody would have it. We don't just drift into it. We have to be intentional. We have to be focused. But we can conquer. And the whole Sephardic experience, it's like a little baby. She's been in there for 9 months, and there's electrical impulses. Something is about to be born. And just because I'm standing there helping pull it out of the womb, don't assume I have anything to do with that life, because that's created somewhere else that has nothing to do with who's delivering it. God is at work in the world doing different things among different people. Praise the Lord, here we are. Okay, I'm preaching. The undersigned, if you look at number 8, the undersigned with Jewish ancestry are not interested in undergoing a conversion process to become Jewish, because we are of Jewish descent. Personally, I think that's patently insulting. And that's the way the game is played right now. You know you're of Jewish descent and you want to go to Israel, they say, well, you have to convert and become a Jew. That negates your whole experience, to my way of thinking. And this isn't my way, it's our way. The undersigned with Jewish ancestry are not interested in undergoing a conversion process to become Jewish, because we are of Jewish descent. We want to be respected as such. I'm including myself in that sheepishly. We wish to be accepted and respected as such. Those without ancestry, however, are open to the prospect. By the way, there is, associated with the union of Messianic Jewish congregations, through the Rabbinical Council, there's a mechanism for individuals of non-Jewish extract who want to convert to be Jewish in a Messianic Jewish sense can do so, can become so, and then be considered Messianic Jewish. There's different ways to skin the cat, but here principally, though not exclusively, the undersigned with Jewish ancestry are not interested in undergoing a conversion process to become Jewish, but rather to be respected as such. Number 9. The undersigned requests that our friends and associates in the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations overcome possible biases and find a way to formally extend a hand to us their brothers and sisters of Sephardic Jewish descent by minimally offering associated status to us and our communities. Now there it is. I mean, it's, implicit bias is an issue in culture on the whole. And I do think, and it might not come up, if someone of Hispanic descent or Sephardic descent, talks to someone, they might not tell, they might not say it. But my experience as I've kicked around, I mean, I kind of started looking at the whole Sephardic story before I ever became an executive director of the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations. I never thought that was going to happen. Never did. Never in a million years. And even when we were at the conference last summer, when the delegates were voting, I never thought they'd pass me. And when they did, when they were voting, I was outside with my wife Barry, and I said, listen, all you need is a simple majority, and if it's 51-49, in my favor, 51%, so I'm the new executive director. I said, if it's a 51-49%, my first act is going to be to quit. Because I don't want to split the union. The whole of the Sephardic experience, just before I ever was speaking to people from some kind of place of having some kind of juridical authorization, that is to say there was a vote and he's become the executive director. Now that sounds bigger than what it really means. In the union, the executive director is not some big shot, prima donna ruler. I mean, there's some authorization to be sure that goes with it. I don't want to minimalize it, but I don't want to overstate it either. But before I ever got to this space, just when I would talk to my friends, in the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations, when I would talk to them, I was surprised by the occasional pushback. I didn't expect that. When it's just me and them, hey, what do you think? I've been studying this, and I've read this, and I went here, and we're just talking. Hey, don't you think it would be a great idea if we would find a way to open our hearts to Sephardic? Just when it's just conversational. I'm not in any position to do anything. Just talking. I was surprised. And, the undersigned requests that our friends and associates in the Union of Messianic Jewish Congregations overcome any possible biases and find a way to formally extend a hand to us, brothers and sisters of Sephardic Jewish descent, by opening up the arm and making room for acceptance, appreciation. And then lastly here, it's less a point, hope. The undersigned thank the UMJC for consideration, 1 through 9 above, and the undersigned look forward to a positive outcome of our request. And again, the plan here is, and I've already said it once, said it twice, and I'll close. The plan here is I want to get all the signatures that I can. Now, for all the rabbis, the congregational leaders, if you'd come and see me, this is a different kind of sign-up sheet. And I don't want to speak in some kind of hierarchical sense of rabbis better than a layperson, but to see a printed signature from Roy Garcia, who was known and respected in the movement, and from soon-to-be Dr. Joey Benemy, who's known. These people are known. And I want to have 1,000 signatures, many of whom are people that we just don't know yet. And I wanted to have a special page from people that we do know. And anybody who serves as a rabbi congregational leader, if you're interested, I'd like to hear from you. Beyond that, what I would like, and this is my final request, and there's nothing worse than a speaker who says final, and then it ain't final. Don't you hate those preachers? And then they go on for 20 minutes. I'm looking at some of the rabbis. There's conviction there. I can kind of feel what I'd like rabbis to do is to take that blank list. If you need one, I'll give it to you. Take it back to your communities and ask your constituents to sign it. Help me. Please help me. Please help me successful. Please. And what I'm looking for is 1,000 names. That's ambitious, but I'm ambitious. I'm pushing. Please, get those signatures. You can email me. I'll give you my card if you need it. Some have expressed to me, by the way, that they would like to be part of the union of Messianic Jewish congregations. You can feel free to see me. As not above running to let you know other ways that so much can benefit. Listen. Heard. This is the beginning of the afternoon. We just heard from the speaker. I have my notebook here now, and I was taking notes. I read Matthias, and I bet you this thing's going to be. This hate speakers. When they go to the conference, all they want to do is hear the sound of their own voice. They don't have any time to listen to anybody else. There may be hate to lose. I don't like that person. I'm so glad to be with you. Everything that I just shared with you comes out of groupthink. I'm representing a group. What I shared last night represents a group. But now we're going to have the opportunity to hear from heroes among the squad, those of Sephardic descent who have ridden out there in the countryside and endeavored to build communities, tell the Sephardic Jewish story, and we're going to add the beneficiaries. Thank you so much for affording me the opportunity.
Thank you, Rabbi Seth. And again, I am learning a lot because there is, as I said before, there's a lot of brain power here, and we're going to. There's a lot of not only brain power, but various different experiences of rabbis here. A few things that help keep you on the hot spot. I'm gonna ask you to get off the hot spot and to use the cell phone because we're trying to have a stream and we're having issues with the live show. You can still watch it afterwards, but we're just having a stream. I'm gonna stay in the same hot spot. So they say if you have your phone, thank you so much. Y no sé si que hablan español acá. ¿Quién? Todos que hablan español. ¿Quién traductor? Sí, todos. Okay. Así que no se necesita traductores adicionales, ¿verdad? Levanta la mano si se necesita traductores adicionales. Okay, ustedes necesitan traductores. So what we're gonna do is we got some people that only speak Spanish. So maybe we can put them all in quizás podemos poner todos en un rincón y después tener traductores que pueden cambiar muchos, como hay muchos aquí que van a hablar, necesitamos muchos traductores. So raise your hand if you're a translator. If you're like not just saying you know English and Spanish, it's a skill. Raise your hand if you know how. Okay. So what I think we're gonna do is we have an empty spot over here. Let's get the translators over here, and y'all can switch out. And then, y todos los que hablan español pueden sentarse allá, en ese rincón aquí. Vamos a tener un traductor hablando, y después todos los traductores pueden sentarse juntos, así que pueden cambiar entre todos las secciones. Aquí en ese rincón hay espacio. So we're gonna have todos los que hablan español, nada más español. Vamos a sentarnos acá con los traductores. We don't need a. No. We're not gonna have time for that. They have to translate in real time over there. That's the only way we're gonna get through 9 rabbis. If we do, it's not gonna work logistically otherwise. Okay, wonderful. So we are okay. I'm gonna be. Y'all are gonna see inside the sausage factory a little bit of it. is what goes into making the sausage. So what I'm gonna say here is a quick thing. If we have okay, wonderful. If we have one speaker every, the way I had it before was 25 minutes, then a 5-minute break. And then we have 9 speakers, so that would put us at 6:45. So everyone can have a 5-minute break to get water, to walk around, to do all that. We're going to be pushing it a little bit late because we have dinner coming in there, and it's just going to kind of be sitting for a while. If y'all want, then I'm going to ask the speakers, and we're going to take a quick vote. I'm sorry, this is the sausage factory. You're seeing, this is it. You just, I'm sorry. If you want to do, I think 18 is a auspicious number. That's high, right? And then a 2-minute break. That will get us done by 5:30, and then or 5. Yeah, a little bit before 5:30, so then we could have, okay. So we'll take a vote. We might go a little bit late, a little bit early, so it's either 25 minutes speak, and here's the thing, I will tell you, I'm going to put someone who's going to be the moderator, and we're going to be brutal. The speakers are going to hate me, all the speakers are going to hate me at the end, no matter whether we do 18 or 25 minutes, they're going to get a picture of me and throw darts at me because I cut them off early. But so we'll take a vote from the speakers. So if you're a speaker, you're only the speakers are voting right now. If you want to do the 25 minutes, and then we might be a little bit late to dinner. There's that 18 minutes gets us in time for Havdalah and dinner. So there's a longer one, or the 25 minutes, or 18 minutes. So if you, just the speakers, if you want to do the 25 minutes, raise your hand. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Want to do the 25 minutes? If you want to do the 18 minutes, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy. We're going to cut the baby in half.